it's easy to move over to Twitch or Kick. I mean, it's easier said than done. And I'm talking about TikTok Shop though. I've been making money selling books. Did I think that it was going to happen? I mean, I don't. I was on the fence about it. I mean, it could have gone any way. If TikTok does truly get banned, which is probably likely. At first I was thinking Instagram, but I don't think Instagram is going to work. Hi Taylor, how are you doing? I don't think Instagram is going to work. I think Instagram is too toxic. I actually deactivated my Instagram account because it's just too toxic over there. I really hate Instagram. And maybe it's just the audience that I cultivated over there, but I don't like it anymore. I don't. I really don't. I think I'm going to do YouTube. I think YouTube is probably the best bet. But the other thing is, what am I going to talk about? You know. But YouTube actually might see a huge boom. I do have a YouTube. My YouTube channel is Quan Millz Presents. Yeah, Quan Millz Presents. I have about 5,000 people following me on YouTube. Am I looking for a concubine? But I mean, I don't know what to feel. I'm still processing all of this. To be honest with you, I'm not monetized on YouTube. I'm not. I don't post any videos on there. I have like snippets of audiobooks on there, but yeah. I mean, you still got time. I don't think it'll be banned on January 19th exactly. But here's the thing: the president. Um, why do you look up and yeah? I know I'm gonna get that taken down. By the way, those dudes' lives, because that's very weird. I'm like, why are you taking my lives and posting them on YouTube? And then it's like a clear cut case of copyright infringement. I'm like, this is bullshit. Now he's gonna be very mad when I submit those copyright infringement claims. Because he's going to get those copyright strikes and then they're going to take down his page. I don't know who's posting me, some random dude named George. I think it's that same dude who's been stalking me. Like, it's so weird. What kind of books do I make? Where am I going when TikTok is banned? Probably YouTube. YouTube. But YouTube has gotten kind of weird too, to be honest with you. YouTube feels very scammy in a way. I don't know. It seems very scammy. I don't know. All of Facebook has become kind of low-key garbage, to be honest with you. No, I was stalker, an online stalker. But we have 44 days until the TikTok ban. So now what I need to get is I need to get everybody off of YouTube. I mean, off of TikTok onto YouTube. You said that one viewer was me. That was because I saw that the other day. I'm like, why is this motherfucker posting my lives on YouTube? But I'm going to start posting videos on there for my car. It's just so weird. So weird. I'm not going to stop writing urban fiction. I'm not going to stop. How are you guys feeling otherwise, though? Oh my God, why is it so fucking cold? Yeah, I'm gonna start posting some crazy videos on there. To be honest with you, I'll talk about everything. What's up, CB23? What's up, the real J Villa? How are you doing? What kind of books do I write? Well, right now on the TikTok shop, I have this hoe got roaches in her crib. Yeah, if you were selling like a lot of um, if you were selling a lot of products on TikTok shop, then yeah, you're fucking screwed. Luckily for me, like I was making some money, but it wasn't like a major source of income. But that shit, I was ramping up. I was getting to the point where I was ramping up, and I was going to start selling a lot of books on on TikTok Shop. Your books are on Spotify, audiobooks. Yeah, they are. Spotify and Audible. What's happening with TikTok Shop? Well, TikTok is getting banned officially on January 19th of next year. So what I think I might do though is I think I still might stick to Instagram. I think I'm going to create an Instagram account for my weight loss journey, fitness, and nutrition content. And then I'm going to probably have YouTube. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this because I don't want to muddy up the audience that I have for that, for the weight loss stuff, for the fitness stuff. I don't want to muddy that up with the people who are legitimately following me because of books. Because I think there are a lot of people out there who really don't know about me and the books, and so when they start to figure out that, wait a minute, I you write these kind of books, I'm not following this for this. But see, let me just say this, and based off of last night, something that I have realized, and I should have seen this, and it is what it is, but there are a lot of people following me on my other account, not because they truly were legitimately supporting me, but they were just hate watching. And I've been noticing lately is that the have you heard about the Whatnot app? I should check that out. You go live and sell products, check it out, dude. Maybe I should look into that. You said the Whatnot app, but I've been noticing that, yeah, monitoring spirits. Yeah, I've been noticing that my follower count has just been going down and down and down, and I'm like, why is that? And then I realized, oh, yeah, because a lot of people, they were there just to really see, and it's so weird. Black TikTok, and I saw another content creator talk about this too. I'm sorry, but um, Black TikTok is very toxic and low vibrational. It really is. You don't deserve the hate. I actually enjoy your books so much, my friends. Gather to read them. Oh, thank you so much, Shakani. Are you in? Your storytelling is unique and amazing, and I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Wait, what was the name of that app again? Whatnot. Okay, let me see. Whatnot. I just downloaded it. Danielle's my daddy. But there are just a lot of people, and I don't know why black people do this. Like, it's so many of them following me, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just, niggas really love controversy. They really love drama. They turn everything into drama. They dramatize everything. And at a certain point, that shit is exhausting. Like, ever since I've gotten started with urban fiction, I have been met with nothing but just non-stop um, Hispanic TikTok is like that too. Thank you so much, Joshua. Maybe it's just the algorithms. I don't know. It just seems very toxic though. On every time I land on black content, it's always some controversy going on. I'm like, what the fuck? But hey, I'll say this, guys. There's another app coming. Somebody said I don't follow the ghetto blacks. Somebody said I don't follow the ghetto blacks. There's another app coming. Trust me. It's just, let me just say this. On one hand, I'm sad. I'm gonna be devastated. I'm gonna have to adjust and adapt. But let me tell you, this is actually low key a good thing. Because if you are not on TikTok and you were trying to become a content creator, trust me, if TikTok truly gets banned and it's a complete obliteration of TikTok, all of that energy, you gotta understand, all the other social media platforms are dead. Okay, Instagram, Facebook, dead. Uh, uh, YouTube technically is not social media, right? But listen, don't be too sad. Be sad for like a day or two, but realize all of that energy, all that momentum, all that attention, it gotta go somewhere else. So it's either gonna go to, my suspicion is gonna go mainly to YouTube. But there's probably gonna be another app coming that is gonna mirror TikTok. And I would not be surprised if Instagram/Meta has an app that they're gonna roll out that is gonna be similar to TikTok. That's gonna pretty much pull people right back in. So don't be too sad if you've been trying to, you're like, oh, what am I going to do? And blah, 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 blah. Financial Times report Mark Zuckerberg will turn IG Reels into a separate app. This will all force us to be productive. Yeah, for real. Real talk. Real talk. I agree. I mean, shit, you ain't got no other choice if you're trying to take advantage of this shit. Because I'm telling you right now, um, if you're really trying to make money in this economy, you've got to be on social media. Ain't no other choice. And the thing is, the mistake that I've continuously made over the years, okay? I'm always late to the motherfucking game. You have got to be on the forefront. In fact, I need to remind myself to get on motherfucking Blue Sky before it really blows up. Because I'm telling you, all of these apps, you got to be in at the very beginning. And you can't, and then you got to be consistent. You got to figure it out. That's another thing, too. People be giving up. Listen, if you want some real life advice, life is like all this other shit. You got to be the first in line, but you can't. But here's the thing: you can't expect to immediately. What do you call it? You can't expect to immediately get it. Some people will immediately get it. Some people won't. But here's the thing: the name of the game is consistency and figuring out, forcing yourself to figure it out, and don't give up. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. But you got to get in, and when you get in early, you got to stay consistent, and you got to grind it out, and you can't give up. And then what you got to be willing to do is adapt and grow. See, a lot of times people get on these social media platforms, and they keep posting the same type of shit. But you got to realize, because for a minute, I was kind of oblivious to TikTok, and then I would post things here and there. It didn't work out. But then something told me, my inner voice told me, no, try something different. That's the thing. You got to figure it out. You got to get that other part of your mind, though. You got to get rid of it. You got to stop. Oh, well, I can't do it. I can't. No, figure it out. Figure that shit out. Figure it out. I'm telling you, as a grown ass man, 40 years old, I have constantly talk myself out of doing things because I'm like, oh, well, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work. No, figure it out. I'm telling you, just sit down, think it through, figure it out. Figure it out. Don't sit back and say, well, I can't do it, or it's impossible, or no, figure it out. It's not like you're trying to get the motherfucking Jupiter. It's not like you're trying to build a rocket that's going to take you to Jupiter and live on Jupiter. No, we're talking about you trying to figure out social media. Thinking it's hard, though. Well, baby, you might as well not live then. Shit, go sign up and go live in a group home. But figure this shit out. They might very well cancel TikTok in January. They might not give it an extension. And you gotta, at this point, you gotta start pivoting. Don't say if you are trying. I'm telling you right now. Now that's if you want to become a TikTok. If you want to become a content creator. But if you don't really care for TikTok, if your goal isn't to become a content creator, you don't have to do shit. What I'm talking about is now is the time. If you've thought about getting into content creation, I'm telling you now is the time because listen, if TikTok really goes away, all that energy has to go somewhere else. It's going to go to Twitch, Kick, YouTube. And like somebody just mentioned, I think it was Tyrell just mentioned, the Financial Times is reporting that they're going to spin off, um, what do you call it? They're going to spin off IG Reels. So, Lemonade, eh. But the girls will definitely go to Lemonade. I do think that Lemonade will still might have some slight potential. But here's the thing. You got to treat social media platforms like stocks. You got to invest in all of them. You got to have a portfolio. You got to have them all. You got to have Snapchat. You got to have Lemonade. You got to have Facebook, Instagram. You got to be all over the place, unfortunately. But probably going to have one or two platforms that are going to really be dominant. Between like I was still you. I'm telling you, this is what I'm about to do. I'm about to just yeah. I know what I'm about to do. I'm going to have to spin off and create a whole entire separately different name for my fitness content, weight loss journey, fitness content, all that stuff is going to have to be under a completely different name and everything. And I'm going to have to spin that off into so that way I don't mix up my book content with weight loss content. But I know Zuckerberg is sitting back. He's like, oh, devious ass motherfucker. But I don't know. Like I'm trying to think. Like other than, I mean, somebody is going to recreate though. Do I think it's actually going to get banned? Well, that was a unanimous decision. All three of those judges unanimously agreed that Congress had the right to pass that law on under national security pretenses. And when you have that type of unanimous decision, because remember, the the Supreme Court and the Federal Appeals Court, their goal isn't to give their interpretation as to whether or not they deem TikTok to be a national threat. That is the job of Congress. And all Congress has to do is, if they collectively come together as a body and say that this is a law that we're passing, right? Then just don't answer my question. Z, I don't know what you're talking about. But if they come together and they collectively decide that they want to pass a bill banning TikTok, right? The courts, their goal is, well, do you all have the legal authority to do that? Does Congress have the legal authority to do that? All TikTok has to do is sell a portion of it to an American buyer. Yeah, but the thing is, what makes TikTok TikTok is the algorithm, and that's the problem at hand. ByteDance is that's proprietary information. They're not going to let up off that algorithm. I want to be very curious to see what Donald Trump is going to do, because what theoretically could happen is that Trump is probably already working behind the scenes with the Senate and with well, pretty much with Congress to start working on some newer legislation. So he's probably already working behind the scenes with some Republican lawmakers to figure out an alternative, right? And more than likely, what I would not be surprised of what ends up happening is the Supreme Court stays a decision and allows TikTok to continue to exist. And that'll give TikTok about 6 months from January 19th, right? So you're talking about roughly probably by July the 4th. That'll give TikTok enough time to pretty much work behind the scenes and lobby the Trump administration to let TikTok continue to work under the umbrella of ByteDance, but they're going to have to agree to a lot of changes that is going to ensure that when Congress goes in and passes a new law, pretty much redefining the scope of the previous law, TikTok would have to be in compliance with that. You see what I'm saying? That is one possibility. But another real possibility is that Donald Trump is just all talk, and that he has no real intention on trying to save TikTok. And that essentially what he plans on doing is um, he's going to let it all play out in the courts, and the Supreme Court, they might take on the case, and then if the Supreme Court says no, we still uphold the law, Trump is going to be like, well, I don't have any authority. We tried, and it is what it is. And see, by that point, me personally, and this is where I fucked up. I should have been planning for this. I should have been planning for this. A lot of TikTok investors didn't give him money. So that's why I anticipate that, to be honest with you, I think they already saw this coming. I think TikTok even themselves already anticipated that this was going to happen. And so their real big strategy is on going straight to the Supreme Court. I think they kind of already knew that this was going to happen, to be honest with you. That's my assumption. I could be wrong. It's all speculation, but I think they already knew that the court was going to strike down was going to uphold the law. I'm sorry. But I don't understand how you're going to pretty much get an American company. Quan, thoughts about the confirming of aliens? There was confirming of aliens. But we'll see what happens. We shouldn't be so hyperbolic about this. We shouldn't, because who knows what Trump and his administration is going to do come January 19th. I mean, they may not care, to be honest with you. Who knows? I don't know, man. It's very anxiety inducing though. So in the meantime, between time, I just got to do my best to get. And you know what? This actually is probably a good thing. Like, I'm changing my perspective around this because I've always said that I need to figure out a way how to get onto YouTube, because YouTube is really where the bag is at. YouTube is really where the bag is at. TikTok is kind of a joke, to be honest with you. It's kind of a joke. YouTube is really where the bag is at, because you could develop a much more robust, serious relationship with an audience on YouTube. See, you know what makes TikTok so bad is that because it's short form content and you're just swiping, right? What's happening is that, what's up, Lamar? Damn, boy, where you been at, boy? When you're swiping, the motherfucking, um, you're not developing a real serious relationship with the audience. So, let me tell you guys something, by the way. I owe Lamar an apology, because that man, he was adamant. Lamar, he called it, y'all. He called it, Lamar G. He called it, dude. He called it. He said Trump was gonna win, and I was like, no, there's no way in hell. But he was not lying. No, there are a lot. Listen, I was wrong, and I gladly admit to that. That man, Trump. Lord have mercy. But it is what it is. Trump won. Yeah, I did. Now I did eventually. I don't know if you saw my lives after that. After that, Lamar. But I did. I did change my mind back to that Trump was gonna win. So I don't know if you caught that. I just didn't make any videos about it, but I follow long form content creators on here. They're slowly switching to YouTube though. Yeah, TikTok. And then let me tell you something else about TikTok that I don't like. It's the motherfucking, the algorithm is all over the place. And then, you know, one thing that I've been noticing about TikTok that I hate is that it'll take you around in circles before it starts to bring you back to content that really is in tune with you. I hate that shit. You just be swiping, swiping, swiping. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is kind of necessary because there are a lot of people who quite honestly don't need to be content creators. And what's your question, Jen? And I can tell you right now, this is a good thing because all these people that just be talking nonsense on TikTok, they just be saying shit, they just be throwing shit out there because it's too easy to make fucking TikTok videos, right? You can't do that on YouTube. You ain't gonna be able to do that on YouTube. You gotta actually come with quality on YouTube. So that shit is gonna literally get rid of all of the motherfuckers. I do have a lot of books left, Dallas. They are going to get, that's going to really get rid of, it's going to filter out all of the unnecessary noise that you see on YouTube. I mean, sorry, that you see on TikTok. You're not, it's going to really, and true, in TikTok shorts, that's time, it does have a time limit. And the thing is, you, like, what I notice about my YouTube shorts is that it's a lot more dialed in to my interests. And yeah, and YouTube has a much higher skill curve. Yeah, I'm telling you, and you're not just gonna be able to come on here and give hot takes and do all this and do this and do that and blah 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 blah. If I want to file a civil lawsuit, where can I find the form online? Oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know. I ain't no motherfucking lawyer. Who you trying to sue? But why would Lamar? You would ask me what made me change my mind. I'll tell you when I shifted. When Obama came out and um, said that shit about um, black men, I was like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? And YouTube is not easy either, but that's not a bad thing. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be easy. I think this is the whole point that I'm trying to make. I think a lot of people just want to, like, I've been seeing this whole trend. People like, post that content, post that content, post that content. And I'm like, okay, see, this is the problem. TikTok is becoming a lottery ticket. That is problem. You don't want, we don't want that. I don't want to, I don't, certain people just don't deserve to go viral, if we're going to be quite honest with you. Yeah, exactly. High barrier to entry is not always bad. Exactly. That's exactly. You want there to be high barrier entry because what that does is it forces you to have a much, like, you got to really get down into your content. You can't just be posting just to be posting. You got to get editing. You got to find the right thumbnail. You got to have something really to say. You got to really talk about shit that people actually want to spend the time to listen to. But with TikTok, it's just all brain rot shit for the most part. And people arguing back and forth because they ain't got nothing to say. So I'll be honest with you, I kind of welcome this shit because motherfuckers be coming on here and they just be like right now this whole debate with motherfucking Courtney J and Shaquille, whatever the fuck his name is, talking about the whole. I'm like, these niggas ain't got nothing else to talk about. At least with me, people see, and that's when people used to come on here and they say, well, all you do is yap yap. First of all, I'm a motherfucking author. I am an author. I write books. I've been doing this for a decade now. I've already been known on social media for my books. I've gone viral. I've been going viral since 2017. So I ain't new to all this, right? But I wasn't caught up in the thick of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but you actually have something to say. Like, they be talking about nonsense. Yeah. And then people be debating, going back and forth and shit. I'll be like, yeah, and then y'all, I'm like, this shit is whack. This shit is lame. You have to make something people want to click on, watch the ads, and want to finish a 10 plus minute video. Exactly. Exactly. But TikTok is. How's the acting boxing going? So the acting classes, I started off taking. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at this lady in the parking lot. With the acting classes, I actually started those in January. So I did the seminar, but I actually do the real classes start in January. Boxing is cool. What I'm trying to do right now, honestly, I'm trying to lose as much weight as I can, because being at a certain size, it does really limit you in your mobility and your cardiovascular endurance. And so my goal now is to try to strip off as much body fat as I can. So right now I'm fasting. I'm fasting, and then I'm going to be trying to drive. You know what I really should do is I'm going to start a new page, because I'm how to get dark so fast. Um, well, I'm in Chicago. The sun sets here at 4:20. I know that sounds horrible as shit. Um, you definitely gained weight. You must have been working. Calorie deficits feel so difficult for me. Um, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I figured something out. There's something to carb addiction. There is something definitely to carb and sugar addiction. I can tell you right now. I've had my ups and downs, and you know when I had my downs, soon as I eat something sweet, it triggers me into wanting more and more of it. My honest suggestion, and then also not eating enough protein. That shit makes a huge difference. That shit makes it. Now listen, carnivore, while I think long term is not a good diet, because it drives up your blood cholesterol levels. In the short term, do that shit. Because I don't give a fuck what nobody says, but every time I eat steak and eggs or ground beef and eggs, I literally stay full for hours. That is the only meal that I've been eating consistently where every time I make it, like when I tell you I am not hungry for like 10 hours, I am not, and it's not even a lot of protein. I will literally make ground beef, eggs, 92 or 96% ground beef with eggs and some onion. I'll do like 3 whole eggs and then a cup of egg whites. And it comes out to like 80 grams of protein. And next thing you know, I am like, what the fuck? Like, I'm literally not hungry for a whole entire, like, literally half the day. The craving stop because the bacteria can't survive. Oh, yeah, there's certain bacteria in your gut needs carbs to live. That's why after 3-4 days of no carbs. That would make a lot of sense then. That makes a lot. Every time, and then you lose all that water weight. Like, I'll be so feeling so bloated eating carbs and shit. Listen, last week, dude, let me tell you something. Last week, I started this new routine. Okay? I started this new routine, just eating up a steak and eggs, or ground beef and eggs, right? Well, I already lost 11 pounds. Literally. I feel so light, clear headed, energetic. I don't have, like, I will wake up feeling tired. I thought you said we need bread for energy. Well, here's the thing. You can have some carbs in your diet, but I think it's a type of carbs. No, I don't do cereal. No, I stopped that. People underestimate sleep and how it can contribute to weight loss. Yeah, because when you're sleep deprived, it actually drives up your cortisol levels and makes you end up eating more. But them processed carbs, them shits is good. Like yesterday, like I told you guys, I had that brownie from motherfucking Crumble, and that shit was so decadent and it was sweet. You said complex carbs are mostly bad. What do you mean? I thought it was the opposite. Complex carbs are like fruit, sweet potatoes, grains. The simple carbs are like unprocessed white rice, and I haven't had rice in a minute. My favorite fast food is Wingstop. But let me tell you, if you got some weight to lose, just stop eating all them damn carbs. And then eat just a little bit of fruit, maybe like an apple, some berries, whatever. Because I'm telling you, you stop eating them motherfucking carbs, that motherfucking weight will fall off your ass so quick. Chipotle, yeah, I can see why Chipotle, and I don't fuck with beans. But Lamar, I don't know if you're still in the chat. I'm gonna start something, so I don't want to put out too many details because I plan on writing a book about it, and I was going to try to sell it on TikTok Shop because my goal was to disappear for about 6 months. But now this TikTok ban got me like, God fucking damn it, and ruined my whole entire marketing strategy. So I'm doing something called the 5-2 diet that I've been actually doing research on and working on for the last couple of months or so. It's called the 5-2 diet, and um, essentially it's 5 days of a protein sparing modified fast followed up by 2 days of a refeed. So Monday through Friday, I plan on dropping my um, carbs and fats all the way damn near to like no more than 10 to 20 grams, and eating roughly around 180 to 200 grams of protein. So, but lean sources of protein: chicken breast, fish, ground turkey, lean ground beef, egg whites, turkey bacon, shit like that, and followed up with vegetables Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, that's when I up the carbs. But you want to keep the fat still kind of like you want to increase the fats, but you don't want to go super high with it. Because one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you are in a caloric restriction, you start to drive down your leptin levels very low, and that is what signals to your brain in order to get your appetite hormones back up to make you eat. Because your fat cells release leptin, and then leptin is what triggers your brain into releasing, what do you call it? Ghrelin, which increases your appetite and stuff like that. But some people have leptin resistance. That is a real thing, by the way, leptin resistance. You don't hear too many people talking about leptin resistance. Insulin resistance is you hear people talking about insulin resistance, whatever, da da da. But leptin resistance is something else that people need to really learn, because one of the reasons why so many people easily fall off a bandwagon quickly is that they're 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 going too hard too quick up front. But let me just say this: I have the book upstairs, and I've had it for years. I don't know if you guys know, it's the name of a nutritionist named Lyle McDonald. But this diet that I'm referring to, the 5-2 diet, and technically it's not 5-2, I just made that up. But their protein sparing modified fasts have been around for a minute, where people could lose 20, 30 pounds in a month. But essentially, you're eating nothing but just protein, just pure protein, and then you're taking in some fish oil capsules and some fiber capsules. And you were just literally shedding body fat. That's it. You might have 1 or 2 days of a refeed or a cheat meal, but you can only do it for so long before you got to go into maintenance or go into a much more slower deficit. And by slow deficit, I mean no more than 1,000 calories. I keep thinking those carbs down are key. I lost 2 pounds in 4 days. On it. Yeah. Um, you know, the thing about carbs is that it's really all about your physical activity level. And if you're somebody who is not really super duper active, there's no reason why you need more than 300 grams of carbs. You probably only really need maybe like at the most 200 to 250 for a main. There's no reason why you need all that carbohydrate in your diet. It's just gonna make you bloated. That's all it's gonna do. Yeah. If you're not somebody who's like just really pounding it out in the gym and working out and on top of doing a physical job, there's really no need why you need to have 300, 400 grams of carbs in your diet. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, Lamar. Do you know how many calories you were eating in general? Because this diet that I'm referring to, that I'm going to be starting pretty soon, I'm only eating 800 to 900 calories Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I'm bumping that up to around 3,000 calories. So it's a cycle. So technically, it's considered cyclical protein sparing modified fasting. It is low, but let me tell you, I was somebody talking about, oh, you shouldn't drop your calories too low, or blah, 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 blah. I've been doing the research on this. I've been talking to a few nutritionists about this. I will tell you, generalized weight loss advice, the the rule of thumb is to lose no more than 1% of your total body mass a week, right? When you are a bigger person, if you could stand to lose more than 50, 60 pounds, you could go very low on your calories before you really start tapping into lean body mass. So a bigger person, like imagine somebody being 300 pounds, you're a man, you're 300 pounds and your ideal body weight is 180. You're carrying around probably roughly around 120 extra pounds of body fat. You could lose way more than 1 pound of pure fat in one day without even tapping into your what do you call it? Your lean body tissue, your lean body mass. But of course, as you get smaller, that number goes down more and more and more. But the rule of thumb is the human body can only extract anywhere between 30 to 40 grams of, 30 to 40 calories per pound of fat that you're carrying. So imagine if you're a woman, right, and you only need to lose like 20 pounds, right? So you're carrying like an excessive, like you're carrying like 20 pounds of body fat. Realistically, if we're going to go with 35 calories for every pound that you're carrying, you can only lose up to 700 calories worth of body fat a day, which if you do the math, that means you can only lose just a little bit over a pound a week before you actually dip into your lean body mass. But imagine you're like on my 600-pound life, right? And you're somebody who needs to lose like 300 pounds to get down to a healthy body weight, right? Um, you're talking about 10,500 calories in one day that could be expended. Um, just some pure body fat, energy from body fat. You do the math. That's the reason why a lot of people on my 600-pound life, Dr. Now, they be losing like 100 pounds in a month or 80 pounds in a month when they follow his diet, because they're carrying so much body fat that they don't really need to eat. Yeah, it's like 2.5 pounds. It's more than that, actually. It's like, yeah, but they carrying like they could literally lose anywhere between 2 to 3 pounds a day of just pure body fat, because that's just how much body fat they're carrying. So again, imagine a man who is carrying an excessive amount of body fat, in excess of 100 pounds. He could burn up to realistically probably close to or just at a pound of body fat a day. But again, as you get smaller, that number is going to gradually decrease. So when you see these guys talk about doing an aggressive cut on TikTok and they only got to lose like 10 pounds, I'm actually shocked. Well, let me just also say this. So, and you can look this up online. Go to YouTube. You can look up Lyle McDonald, and also look up Martin. I think his name actually is Martin McDonald. Actually, now that I think about it, what a coincidence that both these men are rapid weight loss coaches. But um, you don't actually lose as much muscle. You don't lose as much muscle. I am fasting. You don't lose as much muscle as you think when you are cutting, even if you're a smaller person. And the little muscle that you do lose, you can gain it back. So, yeah. So, I'm saying all that to say, fasting, water fasting, if you want to fast, you can sustain it, and you don't end up binging, go ahead and do it. It won't hurt you in the short term. It's not going to hurt you in the short term. The thing is, people don't do research. They just assume they lose muscle without being practical. That, and also, but here's another thing too. I'll tell you this. People don't even have even a lot of muscle to begin with in the first place. So they thinking that they're losing all this muscle. And what happens is they're just losing all their body fat without realizing they were way smaller than what they initially thought. And that's another thing too, like especially you see this with a lot of women, is that, and this is why I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like you're a woman, right? If you're 5'5", 5'4", right, and you're over 200 pounds, and you Your doctor is like, well, you need to get down to 120. Oh, that's too small. That's too small. I'm gonna be. No, that's not too small. That is your ideal body weight. That's your ideal body weight, sweetie. You're not supposed to be no woman 180, 190 pounds at five. Yeah, you might go when you work out and you think you're toning it up, but you're really just working out, and so you just put on some muscle, but you're still fat. Don't forget bone density. A lot of people don't know Ozempic are having issues with osteoporosis. I didn't know that. But every time we have this conversation, especially with black folks get so offended. They get offended. The reason why you lost strength, and it's bound to happen when you're in a state of catabolism, you are essentially depriving your body of carbohydrate. And you need carbohydrate to push heavy weight for the most part. And then on top of that, you are losing some muscle mass, but it's not so catastrophic to the point where you're going to die just by doing a couple of days of fasting. That shit. The problem is people don't know how to maintain that shit. That was my issue, and that's the issue for most people. It's hard to build muscle as women. They don't know what they're talking about. It is, yeah, exactly. Like women don't have the hormonal profiles to put on muscle like that. And if you do, you might at the most put on like 10 pounds of muscle. So, when women out here like, and then don't you want to be thin? I'm sorry, but this time next year, I want to be so damn skinny that you think that I'm sick. Who wants to be like being big is not thick. That shit is not. And I just see so many black people be so braggadocious about that shit. And I'm like, bitch, nigga, your ass is fat. We are fat. Niggas be fat. No, you don't trust me. Yes, I do want to be skinny. I want to be skinny. I don't. I want to listen. This is how you know you're good. If you're a man and you can't see your abs, if you don't have abs, you need to figure out a way how to get abs. And I don't mean them fat abs where motherfuckers they just go and do crunches and shit at the gym and they got them big fat. Because I used to see this at the gym at all the time. When I used to live in Hyde Park in Chicago, they used to be. You used to see these dudes 260 pounds. I'm like, I got abs. Nigga, no, you don't. That is fat. You just are starting to see the small outline of the abs, but you got fat blocks. Those are not abs, those are fat blocks. Nigga, you fat. You are fat. If you got like them motherfucking abs that what's his name? Charles got. Nigga got yeah, they be 260 pounds. I'm like, I got abs. How are you 206 pounds? Sir, you are not, unless you are on anabolic steroids and you are a professional bodybuilder, your ass don't have no motherfucking abs. Watched a video last night about how black women don't compete in the dating market because they want to stay fat, and that is so true. Because you see, I'm telling you, that even goes for men too. And I'm telling you, like that shit holds you back. You are literally robbing yourself of your own potential by being so defiant on this very issue. And the thing is, when you really think about it, if you just stay dialed in for a year and just be dialed in with your diet and just stop making excuses about it and just do what you got to do, before you know it, you'll have that weight off of you. Straight up. Should women have abs? I mean, I don't mind them. If your woman is skinny, let me tell you something else too. And this is my personal opinion. I would prefer to be with a skinnier woman, and let me tell you the reason why. And I know I'm gonna sound crazy saying this. It just makes relations better. It amplifies it because it's just that pussy gonna feel different. It's gonna feel different. You're gonna have more endurance. It's just gonna be 10 times better. Uh, it's so slow when you're in your 30s. It's taking me forever to lose weight. Um, Let me just say this: it's not taking you forever to lose weight. Um, Apparently, women don't even like that 2 to 5% body fat type of guy like at all. They want the Drake built. No, no, no. Let me tell you something. First of all, you're never going to find a man walking around 2 to 5% body fat. 2 to 5% body. The a good healthy body fat percentage for a man to see his abs is anywhere between 9 to 12%, as much as high as 13%. But on average, it's around 10 to 12%. Okay, ain't no man walking around 2 to 5% body fat year round. 2 to 5% is dangerously low. That is like a competition level bodybuilder, and they only sustain that for like a day or two before they shoot right back up. He's not 3% body fat. Trust me, he's not. No, he's not. Nobody is walking around 3% body fat. It is dangerously low, and not just because of you just don't have any body fat, but also you're at that point you need body fat for your neurological system and for your endocrine system and your immune system. 3% is incredibly low. Nobody is walking around that low year round. Nobody. The lowest that you ever see professional bodybuilders get down to is usually in the ballpark of around 5 to 7% body fat. And even then, when you talk to professional bodybuilders, they will tell you it absolutely sucks. You're tired, you have lower testosterone, your libido is shot, and your hunger levels, your appetite, it is like through the roof. 7%, even then, I'm telling you, no. And let me tell you, you can never really get a good estimation of your body fat. That's another thing too people don't realize. And I've done DEXA scans before. Listen, I'm not making this up. I've done bioelectrical impedance. I've done a DEXA scan. Um, you can also go do an MRI to get your body fat percentage taken. But I'm telling you, you're carrying way more body fat than what these scales or what these different devices are telling you. There's also hydrostatic weighing. I don't know if you know what that is. That's a bod pod, but that's hydrostatic weighing. Okay, the average man, it's usually when you're talking about your abs, to see your abs, you could even 10% is pushing it, but you can be 10% year round. But a good body fat percentage for a man is anywhere between 11 to 13% body fat. Trust me, that's lean. That is very lean. And it's lean enough that if you're not taking anabolic steroids, right, when you have clothes on, people are going to think you're scrawny. And that's not a bad thing. I'd rather look scrawny than to be fat. Straight up. I'd rather be scrawny than to look fat. Because I know that once I take my shirt off and I'm at the beach, I'm going to look great. Um, exactly, Quan. You need to be a trainer, LOL. But professional athletes, they think they're walking around at 5-6% body fat. There's no way in hell you're performing intense professional sports when you're that low in body fat. You're not. You're not. You like performance wise, you don't even have the energy. You don't even have the energy. Like you're so crashed out. And some people can't even sustain 10. Honestly, the normal range for body fat percentage is around 10 to 15%, with the average, even person who you think is lean, quote unquote, they usually are around 14 to 15% body fat. People just carry body fat differently. There are some people, they just store more body fat in their stomach area, so you're not going to see their abs immediately. Some people carry it more in their hips and their thighs and their back, chest, whatever. But um, as far as getting losing weight in your 30s versus your 20s, let me tell you something, guys. Listen, yeah, you even store body fat in your muscles. That's called intramuscular adiposity. That's something else too that people don't realize. Your body, you are literally holding on to so much fat that the average man should not be walking around here, honestly, no more than 200 pounds. The average man should probably be no more than like 180, 185, and that's pushing it. 185, 190, unless you're really tall. You look at a lot of NBA athletes, and I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, there's guys in the NBA that are literally like 6'2", 6'3", and they're like only 200 pounds. And I've been walking around here over 300 pounds at 5'10". So, no, no. The average woman should not be no more than like 140. No more than 140. And when you say this, you get so much pushback. People are like, oh my God. No, I'm going to look bad. I'm going to look skinny. And I'm like, ma'am. I'm like, and why? And then why are you more so concerned about your curves than your damn health? Aren't you concerned about your motherfucking blood pressure, having sleep apnea, blood cholesterol levels, non-alcohol fatty liver disease, diabetes, insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, cancer? 170, baby. Let me tell you something. I didn't mute you. I don't know who did that. I don't mute people. That was probably a mod who did that, Briscoe. 100, baby. Let me tell you something. My ideal body weight is around 170 to 175, and I'm 5'10". Ain't no way in hell 170 pounds. Now listen, you can guess. No, listen. I want to make something very clear. You can get men. You can find some niggas that'll be into you. I'm not denying that. How much you weigh? Would you have loose skin? It depends. Um, the thing about the loose skin conversation is very interesting because loose skin is very genetic. You can't predict that. You really can't, unless you're just carrying an extremely large amount of body fat. I wouldn't even worry about that. If you had a point where you 400, 500, 600 pounds, loose skin, worrying about. I've been seeing these people in these comments on different videos. Oh my God, I want to lose weight so bad, but I'm just afraid to lose skin. I'm like, motherfucker, you are 400 pounds. You're more afraid. Or you should be more afraid of a heart attack or a stroke. You should be more afraid of having a motherfucking. And I didn't want to say that, Saint, but that's exactly what it is. When people use that excuse of not wanting to have loose skin, that's just a cop out. Your ass just don't want to lose weight. That's really what that shit is about. I don't know who muted you last night. I wasn't even paying attention. Why, you want to fight them or something? Have you seen that 300-pound new rapper? He ain't no 300 pounds, baby. I'm just a little bit under 300 pounds. That man is not 300 pounds. That is not a 300-pound man. That is at least a 600, 700 pound man. He died? You lying. He ain't died. Man, you just lying. No, he did not die. He did not die. That would have been trending all over the FYP. That would have been all over TikTok. This nigga gonna quote. This nigga gonna quote World Star Hip Hop. Man, it is a believable lie though. It is, but I ain't going to Instagram. I just saw a video to my all the TikTok people going. I ain't going to Instagram. Would you guys go to Instagram? I don't like Instagram. I really don't. I'm trying to avoid that. Like I can't do it. Thank you so much. I got, but you know what? You know what it is? I got to start a new page, and I got to figure out a way how to make sure that it doesn't become niggerish. Cause all that shit, that shade room, ratchet, I don't see. I developed an audience of that shit, and that really fucked up my that really fucked up my page. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to be on some positivity. As cliche and corny as that sounds, I don't want to bring none of that. I don't want none of it because I'm just trying to be positive and I'm trying to make money. I don't want none of that extra weird. Um, I don't want none of that on my Instagram is just so weird, and then people they be going at each other on in the comment. It shit is hell on there. And then let me tell you what the worst type of content is, and I cannot stand when I see men doing this because it is just so cringe. Who's Kendra? Kendra who? It is so cringe. IG is ghetto as fuck. It is. I hate that shit. Let me tell you what's so cringe. I really cannot stand the black guys that'll be on TikTok or black men period that um that literally um they have to use their dick prints in order to bait people into the engaging with them, and then like their dick is just all out in the camera and stuff, and then it's like, okay, dude, you got a dick, you got a big dick. It's probably nice looking. You probably got a nice, pretty big dick. Okay, so what? What is that doing for you? Like you just thirst trapping on social media. Like what is that doing for you? Like, what's the whole point? What's the whole point? Yeah, Chime Time did, and it was so weird because he was making it jump in his pants. It was so strange. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be reviewing food content. Why are you dressing this damn outfit? And then I'm supposed to be watching you eat chicken and shit, and then you making your dick jump in your damn pants. And the pec flexing when the thirst trap is weird for that for women. I mean, it's bizarre because you don't have to do all that. You don't. But I even see some of these guys on TikTok, they do that. What's hard? That's the hard ER content. Yeah, it's very cringe. I don't know why men do that. Because then my whole thing is, okay, so women DM you. What are you getting from that? Because if a woman wants to have sex with you, she's not going to DM you and then want to link up with you and come fly to your city. And if she does, she's very thirsty and she's probably weird and she's probably a stalker. And then I'm gonna say this, and I know that you could take it for whatever it is. You could take it for whatever it is. Exactly, Ghost. I was gonna say that. That shit, those guys doing that, those guys are bisexual. I don't give a fuck what nobody gotta say. Sir, you are bisexual. You're doing that for men. Because that only attracts other men. Granted, you have women in the comments, they'll be saying things, whatever, but they ain't gonna start DMing you and tomorrow, oh, we should link up because I want to see it. And no, they're not gonna do all that. But a man would. Men do that. So when Chime Time did that, I was like, okay, dude, you got to be gay. You've got to, because why would you? So do you think all popular male thirst trappers could be bi? Yeah, we talked about this last night. I already told y'all most of these, probably about 30-35% of men are bisexual. I would probably say it's probably more like 40-45%. Now, it's a spectrum though. They may have never acted on it. They may have never acted on it. They may have had thoughts. They might wank off to it when they go in the bathroom and they pull it up on their phones and stuff and they immediately delete it from their phones and stuff. But as far as the men who probably have acted on it, it probably ranges too. But I would venture to say it's probably like 40-45% of men. Because there's no way in hell you're gonna get on TikTok and do all that. If you're at the point where you are like, it's a dude who used to pay me, Marshall Price. You guys know who that is? He used to pay me to post content on Instagram. And he got a long horse eggplant. I mean, that thing looks weird. But it was always something about him like, you've got to be gay or like you have to be bisexual. You cannot be 100% straight. Oh, you know who Marshall Price is, Lady Commander? There's no way. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, no, I used to post him on my Instagram because he used to pay me. So he could get followers and get people to come back to his OnlyFans account. But his thing, I'm like, that shit, I'm like, nigga, you need to go to it. Nigga literally had like a damn. I forgot how much he was paying me, but he was paying me to post on my page. But he was paying everybody, though. He was paying other pages and whatnot. That's what he does. But you see, he's on Twitter too. And let me tell you, they all be on Twitter. And Twitter's a wild, wild west because you just be scrolling, minding your own business. You see some, what do you call it? You see some post, next thing you know, you see a dude who you've seen before on TikTok, but now you see him on Twitter. He's just sitting there just jacking his shit. Just jacking his shit. You be like, what the fuck? You be seeing something. I'm like, oh, that's what you do? Oh, okay. They be skeeting all over the place. That should be hilarious as hell. I'm like, wow, this is your life. You are really out here on social media. Like, this is how you make your money. And they make money too. I'm not judging it. They make money, but a lot of those guys are bisexual. I'm sorry, but a lot of those guys are bisexual. A lot of those guys are bisexual. I'm sorry. They're bisexual. They are bisexual. Straight up. They're bisexual. I'm sorry. And that's okay. I just think that we live in a very judgmental society, and a lot of guys are just not going to come out the gate and admit that they're bisexual. Same thing with women too. Same thing with women. That's why don't sit up here and tell me, oh, you went to a 3-man or a 2-man, or you and your homeboys used to run trains on girls back in the day. Sir, you clearly are bisexual. You were very comfortable enough to be in a room with other men, and you all pulled out your penises, and you all sat there and watched each other get do to do with just with one or two females. So you're bisexual, and that's okay. Men gather to beat each other's meat. Okay, so circle jerks. You weren't in the chat last night, Ghost. I don't think you was. I talked about this, and everybody was shocked, and that's why I was like, y'all know this is what a lot of guys be doing now. They literally meet up in parks, movie theaters, saunas and gyms, the showers and gyms, malls, and they just be in the stalls, just yeah, yep. And it be the men you least suspect too. That's another thing. The guys who look like just the guys who they just you just wouldn't suspect. You would be like, nah, they are. Yep. It's way more prevalent than what people are led to believe. And they've done surveys on this. It was, and it's just not. I'm not talking about black men either. It's just men, period. But it makes perfect sense though, because listen, if you ever meet a man with a high sex, you guys want to know a dead giveaway. And this is another reason why men who out here talking about they have a high body count, dead giveaway. Men who've been having sex for a long time with multiple women, they're bisexual. They're gay. Well, no, they're probably bisexual. They are. You don't have a high your brain, okay? You like sex that much, you want to put your dick in anything, okay? A hole is a hole to you at that point. A mouth, a booty hole, it don't matter if it's a man, woman, trans, whatever. Those dudes, they be having high ass sex drives. They having sex with everybody. You're right, R. They get tired of women after a while and start experiencing it with transgenders. Exactly. They was hunching butterball turkeys, Quan. Let me tell you, no, it's not just even the trans stuff. I'm telling you, A lot of these dudes, they were doing this even in high school. They was doing this in high school. They was doing this in college. They were literally, they spent a lot of time, just hanging out, playing video games. They start smoking a little bit of that Getty Green, and next thing you know, and really, let me tell you where it really starts. Is when they start watching porn and stuff together. Because then now you hear y'all staring at this porn, and the both of y'all are getting hard together. Next thing you know, one of them dudes pulls his thing out. Next thing you know, and then it goes from there. That's how that shit starts. Because a lot of dudes be doing that shit, and they be like, I'm telling you, that is how a lot of these dudes have gotten down when they were in high school or when they were in college and stuff. And it's worse now more than ever because porn is so accessible and it's changing their brains. So now here you 19, and you already, I'm telling you, there's a lot of these guys out here. That's why you don't, yeah, and then they be trying to turn other dudes out, yeah. Somebody said in the middle of class, yes, they be gooning in the middle of class. It was a teacher. Her video went viral. She was like, and no gooning in the middle of class. Because you literally got kids, literally teenagers, literally, they be in the damn civics and English, stroking themselves, watching adult content on their damn phones and shit. Yes, there's a yes way. Yes. It's a whole thing now. Even psychiatrists are talking about this shit. Psychiatrists, they got this is one psychiatrist I follow. And like, I didn't realize the extent of just how much porn is being consumed by teenagers and stuff and younger people. Schools don't allow it. I think he did get in trouble, but I'm saying though that, like, I tell you, a lot of these kids, and then a lot of these young, and these boy, I'm telling you, these high school football players and basketball players, when they have their parties and stuff or their link ups, and they literally are there. I'm telling you, they will be there. They will, yeah, it'll be the same dudes around. I'm telling you, they be there. And they've done stuff like yep, trying to poke some. They be at the function out. No, those be the main ones talking to the girls. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The ones who be getting all the girls, the ones who be fucking any and everybody, those be the same guys behind the scenes when the girlfriend is someone who kind of like a ruse. They usually cloak themselves in a whole bunch of women. But behind the scenes, when they alone with one of their homeboys or one of another dude and whatnot, that's when they, yeah, telling you. College football teams too. It's a lot of these dudes like this. The girlfriend be knowing they gay too. No, they don't. They don't. They don't. They don't. They don't be knowing. They don't even know. They don't even suspect. Because I'm telling you, some of these dudes you wouldn't even suspect it. They don't. They don't know though. They don't know. But enough about that though, because I don't even care about that. Because to me, honestly, I don't even think it's salacious. I'ma just assume everyone's gay. I think that's a good. I think that's a good rule of thumb, to be honest with you. This reminds me when Eddie Murphy got caught picking up a trans woman. Yeah, because I don't think there's anything wrong with it, though. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just nature. I mean, it's just two human beings that are attracted to each other. That's it. But everybody that you let that religion and you let that stupid ass Christianity, what do you call it? Got you out here acting like, you know, just people be going crazy with this religion. Fuck that. Nothing wrong with it, but at least be honest with your partner. Get tested often. I'll tell you what the problem is that a lot of black men are not going to be able to be in functioning relationships with women admitting bisexuality. That is the problem. And a lot of men know that, and then they'd rather take the risk and just assume that they could suppress their real desires and feelings and make a marriage work until it stops working. That is the problem, which is why, in my humble opinion, I think this is another compelling argument as to why, if we're going to be quite honest, most people honestly do not need to get married. I think marriage doesn't. I don't think it works. I don't think it works. Yeah, and it's because black women want to accept bisexuality. Yeah, it's true. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, do you want to be? Do you want to be in a situation where your husband likes both? I mean, that's a very, and listen, we can't, let's not downplay the possibility of disease. I mean, that's a very real threat, like, because what if you do want to have sex with your husband, but he tells you, well, let's not do anything tonight because, I just linked up with such and such and such. And I mean, now granted, if you have an open relationship or open marriage, then yeah, but listen, I think something else that I have come to realize, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have made peace I have made peace with the reality that there's essentially no rhyme, reason, or purpose to human life, and that we literally live in an illusion created by our brains that's trying to force us into some semblance of order just for the sake of procreation. But none of this shit makes any sense. Nature is just random. What's up, Shan? Nature is just random, unpredictable. This shit is stupid, to be honest with you. Ain't no point of even living. I'm alive, so I got to deal with it, right? But this shit is stupid. If we're gonna be quite honest, there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. This shit is stupid. This shit is stupid. To be honest with you, all this shit is stupid. You're just gonna get old and die from a horrible disease. Like I was just talking to my mom the other day. One of my dad's cousins, she's full blown gone with dementia. That's horrible. So now it's just any moment now, any day now, she gonna be gone. And then when you die, that's it. It ain't like you're gonna be in your grave, like looking at your phone. Tomorrow, I remember the time that I was a kid. Motherfucker, when you're dead, you're dead. You ain't gonna know you even existed. That's the irony behind all this. That when you die, you won't even know that you even existed. Can you believe that? Imagine that for a second. So here you are living his life with this type of pressure to live up to creating some sort of legacy that you won't even know that you created, because when you're dead, you have no awareness that your memory lives on with other people. Yeah, but guess what? After 100 years, all the people you've ever known, ever interacted with, they're going to be gone. You ain't thinking about your great, 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 great granddaddy. When your ass, when your ass, when you are 1,000 years from now, ain't nobody gonna be thinking about you, baby. Ain't nobody gonna be caring about the fact that you left behind $2 million in some land or some plot in Georgia or somewhere that somebody else gonna eventually probably sell off. They ain't gonna be thinking about that shit. We still thinking about the Romans. Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, but you not. But why does it even matter? You're not going to even be allowed to even want to care, be concerned with the Romans and stuff. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't love life. I mean, you ain't got no other choice. You got to love it. What you going to do, hate it and then be miserable? So you got to love life. Otherwise, you're not going to spend it, be like you had no other choice. But you didn't even sign up to come into this shit. You didn't say, I want to be born as a human being. No. Your ass was a motherfucking clump of cells that motherfucking got turned into a damn embryo, and then by 2-3 months later, you started developing a nervous system that started developing the building blocks for sentience, for consciousness. There is no magic to this shit. None whatsoever. I don't know why. And religion got y'all out here acting like, well, God and the Lord, and you ain't hearing shit, bitch. You are hearing your inner monologue. That is the inner voice inside of you that's in your head. And I can guarantee you, if I give your ass a lobotomy, you ain't gonna hear no inner voice. If I give your ass a heavy dose of some tranquilizers, your ass gonna be catatonic. You ain't gonna be hearing not a goddamn thing. You're gonna be staring out of a motherfucking window looking at some damn birds. Do I sound negative? Religion is a scam. It is. I'm telling you, I be seeing so many people, they be spazzing out. And I get it. Religion is you gotta have a coping mechanism to deal with this random ass shit that we just came into. We ain't nobody. If I could listen, it's not that I'm fed up. I just hate the fact that this shit don't make no damn sense. There's no rhyme or reason to this shit. Anything can happen at any moment. I can just be sitting here chilling, and a motherfucking crazy ass white guy can come around the corner with an AK-47 just light this bitch up, and I just be dead and gone. I can just be driving down the street, minding my own motherfucking business, and a motherfucker, yeah, the asteroid. People don't even think. Hey, listen, Mac. People don't even think about that shit. They don't think. They don't realize that. What was that like? 300 million years ago, an asteroid just came out of nowhere. It was a whole planet with all types of creatures, big ass dinosaurs, big ass lizards, fucking crawling the earth. Can you think about this for a second? About what was it, 100 million years ago or 200 million years ago, this whole entire planet was filled with a whole bunch of flying lizards and dragons and big ass dinosaurs and shit. We literally had, birds are dinosaurs. People don't know this. People don't realize this. Birds are dinosaurs. They are the ancient descendants of dinosaurs that survived. Okay? We had a whole planet of motherfucking flying dinosaurs, like big ass creatures in the sea, in the ocean, and a motherfucking asteroid just got knocked off its course somewhere in the middle of the universe, in the middle of our galaxy. Fucking rock, a rock, and the rock don't got no idea what is going on. All the rock is just moving, got knocked off its course, just flying through space, and it just eventually made a collision with Earth and went right. Well, it was a comet, I think, and the shit went right into the motherfucking Yucatan Peninsula, and then created this massive plume of smoke that then covered the whole entire Earth and killed off all the dinosaurs and killed off most of the creatures except for the ones that could go underground. Which is how we got here, because we used to be little rats. We used to be little rats, but we managed to be underground. And then once that damn smoke cloud came, once that smoke cloud cleared up, we came out from the ground. We climbed up, we went into the trees. We were some tree rats. And over time, we got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we turned into like tiny little monkeys. And then some of those tiny little monkeys came down out of the trees. Some stayed, some turned into orangutans, some eventually turned into gorillas, some turned into chimpanzees and bonobos. But us, we turned into australopithecines. And then over time, we learned how to walk upright. We was, and then eventually shit turned into Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Homo rudolfensis, Homo this, Homo that, Decanovans, Neanderthals, and then Homo sapiens came on the scene 300,000 years ago. The earliest remains of human beings were found in Morocco 300,000 years ago. And we were still unga bungoing. Unga bungo, unga bungo, unga bungo. But let me tell you this. Y'all think y'all so damn special. Do you know the brain that you have is the same brain that we've had for the last 300,000 years. If we could go back in time and get a brain of a little Homo sapien, little Homo sapien nigga that was in the middle of Morocco, we take his brain, we could take that baby and still make him speak English, do math, do science. We got the same motherfucking brain from 300,000 years ago. Evolution, baby. Average human brain is no more than 1,200 to 1,500 cubic centimeters in size. We have not stopped evolving. There's still aspects of humans that are evolving here and there. But it's all natural selection. It's because of environmental pressures that forces certain genetic mutations to happen over the course of millions of years. I always wonder what was the first Big Bang and how many times it has happened before. Xena, that is a good question, sweetheart. And let me tell you, that is a theory in cosmology. That is a theory in physics. Look up Sir Roger Penrose. He has a whole theory about this called cyclic conformal cosmology, because in his theory, what happens is eventually the universe reaches a state of cooling down, and then the universe eventually collapses back onto itself, and then essentially recreates the very conditions of the Big Bang that starts another Big Bang. And so he has this theory that we are just living in one eon of a Big Bang, and that we're just in a continuous series of Big Bangs, and that we're just constantly growing, expanding, collapsing on itself, and then exploding all over again. But I got something that's going to blow your motherfucking mind away, baby. You know, you heard the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. He came out with a concept called eternal recurrence. Eternal recurrence. That means that he said it was a thought exercise. He said the best way to live your life is to assume that you're going to live the same life over and over and over and over again. So he pretty much said, imagine if in the middle of the night a demon came to you in a dream and said that all the physical conditions that have led rise to you, the universe, the galaxies that created you, that eventually led to the creation of you, will happen for an infinity. And that you have to live the same life over and 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 over again for an infinity. Do you really want to live this life over and over and over again, knowing that you out here fucking up, fucking around, doing this, doing that, you know? But here's the problem with Friedrich Nietzsche's concept. The truth is, we don't have free will. Free will is largely an illusion. So everything that we're doing right now, to be quite honest with you, we're just playing out a script. You don't have control over anything, to be honest with you. You think you do, but that's largely an illusion of the brain. Your brain is tricking you into thinking that you have control when you really don't. Exactly, Ash. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why anybody tell me, oh, I want to reincarnate. No, the fuck I don't. When the universe calls me back to the source, don't bring me back. Let me be in bliss. Let me be in ignorance. Let me be in, that truly is heaven if you think about it. That is, ignorance is bliss, literally. Like if you don't know, you won't know. Like I mean, if you don't know, right, then you will never have to experience it. Because the thing about the human experience is, right, for you to know pain, for you to know like joy, you got to know pain. What's his name say? Was that the dude who just recently died, the singer? Joy and pain is like sunshine and rain. When I'm dead and gone, sleeping in my grave, like even the idea people, but like I was even talking to my cousin about this. She's just so hell bent on trying to find the truth to the point where I think it's low key driving her crazy. And I'm trying to tell you that shit. You gotta, you can't. They gotta, yeah. Joy Frankie Beverly. There you go. After a certain while, it's like that's why I say y'all gotta live your life, man. You gotta live your life. Don't be out here taking this shit for granted. You don't know when your number gonna be called. And then you know what my big fear is? Getting old and then realizing now you gotta spend the next 20, 30 years reminiscing over all the regrets. All the things you could have did in your 20s, all the things you could have did in the 30s, all the things you could have did in your 40s. But now you 70 years old, and then you don't know when you're going to, because you could be 70 with another 20 years of life. So now you got to spend the next 20 years at the age of 70, a shell of yourself, dick don't work, pussy dried up, titties hanging down to your damn navel, skin sagging, you don't have youth, you don't have energy, thinking about all the fun you could have had. And then you just doing your best to maintain what little you got. Because now you got to be concerned about genetics and whether or not you got the genetic allotment that's going to allow you to look good. Because everybody out here, you see some of these 70-year-olds, you see Angela Bassett, or you see the other chef lady, and you think, oh, that's going to be me, that's going to be me. You don't know that. You might have some fucked up genes that going to have your ass looking like motherfucking Irma P. Hall at the age of 75. Your ass going to be crouched over, gray hair, damn near blind, stiff ass back, knees gone, gout. Your ass, your ass gonna be 75. Your ass thinking you gonna look like motherfucking Tina Turner and shit. No, your ass gonna look like motherfucking Esther Roll. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Mm-hmm. Your ass gonna be Esther Roll and motherfucking driving Miss Daisy in the kitchen, frying chicken and shit, cutting up greens. He said, "Don't put that on me." Shit, I got a neighbor. She be walking around here from time to time. My parents both look young, so I'm good. No, it don't matter. Just to see this, why you got to go back to school, man. You got to study genetics. It don't matter what your parents got. You could have got some shit from your great from another distant relative. You don't know what genetics you inherited. Literally, you both your parents could have good genes, and you just so happen to get the genes from your mama's daddy's mama side. You walking around here, I'm telling you, the genetic lottery. Gout isn't genetic, friend. Well, I'm just being facetious. I don't, but you can have genetic predispositions that will make you develop a disease, whether no matter how healthy you think you are. This is how genetics work. You don't have any control over it. You think you're just gonna drink some green smoothies and never get cancer? You think you're just gonna motherfucking water fast and not ever get heart disease? Or I'm telling you, That's a naivete. I know. I can tell when people when we had these conversations. I can always tell when people are 20 years old because you got youth on your side, and you better take advantage of that shit and do everything in your power to maintain optimal health. Because I'm telling you, you don't know what kind of shit you carrying. Go and get your genetic testing. Go and get genetic testing, and that shit is cheap. It's only like $50. Shit, that's 23andMe. I want to pay for genetic tests so I don't know what I'm working with. Exactly. That shit is cheap. Anybody can go get that shit done. They got all types of health companies that do genetic testing. You walking around here thinking you all Gucci, your ass got genes that make you predisposed to Alzheimer's, to cancers. You might carry that or is it BRBA or BCBA gene that makes you predisposed to um, breast cancer, colon cancer. I just got my CT calcium score done too, but that doesn't mean anything either because that's just a late stage finding. You can still have soft plaque developing inside your coronary artery. So you got to worry about LPA. People out here just be sitting back, oh no. That's why I'm telling y'all ain't got forever to figure it out. That's what I be trying to tell people. You think you are so arrogant and you are so dialed into the story inside of your head that you think the universe revolves around you. Newsflash, it doesn't. Nature does not give a fuck about you. It doesn't. How do you get the soft plaque check? You'd have to do a what do you call it? What do you call it? It's a very invasive procedure. You'd have to go to a cardiologist, and they essentially, what do you call it? And yeah, CT angiogram. That's the name of it. Flick and beam. Yeah, it's not an ECG or EEG. No, it's an angiogram. They literally put a catheter into usually in your groin, or it could go into your wrist, and it goes into your coronary arteries, and it measures the, what do you call it? The size of your coronary arteries. But even then, that's still not a guarantee. And you got to pay for that shit out of pocket. You can get it done. You can find a doctor who'll do it for you if you're willing to pay for it out of pocket. The insurance company won't cover it. It's called a CT angiogram. Usually they do this after people have had heart attacks. But if you don't want to let me tell you something. If you don't want to get heart disease, if you want my honest advice, because I know all about this, okay? It's called a CT angiogram. You can't just go and take your mom to go and get it. You got to go talk to a cardiologist who is willing to do it based off of her risk profile. How old is your mom? The best thing you probably want to start with, to be honest with you, is it's with a calcium score test. And that's a measure of the amount of hard, late-stage calcified plaque that's built up within your coronary arteries. But if you really want to avoid like having a heart attack, if you want to stop having heart disease, you want to stop it dead in its track, I'm going to tell you right now what you need to do. Yep, you got it, Briscoe. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You got to get on a statin, rosuvastatin, atorvastatin. There's a whole bunch of them. You take a statin, probably anywhere between 2.5 to 10 milligrams a day, and those are cheap. And then you get your LDL cholesterol down below 50 milligrams per deciliter, which means that you're going to have to stop eating a whole bunch of saturated fat, and you're going to have to eat a lot of fiber. And then you're going to have to lose weight, get your blood pressure down below 120/80, And then you're going to have to stop being pre-diabetic and insulin resistant. Losing weight definitely does. It's a risk factor. So there's multiple risk factors. So the number one risk factor for heart disease is elevated LDL cholesterol, which is your um, low density lipoproteins. I don't watch anime. So that's your number one risk factor. So just by dropping your LDL cholesterol, that's like 40 to 50% of the risk that comes along with heart disease. And you can easily change that with diet and losing weight. Okay? Then diet, losing weight, and statin therapy, which again, you could go to a doctor right now and they will prescribe you rosuvastatin, which is Crestor or Lipitor. And those are cheap. That's like $5 a month. I take one. Then the next big risk factor is, of course, obesity, right? Because when you're overweight, you actually have more. Um, you never heard of statin therapy? Yeah, it's common. That's the first line of defense against heart disease. First line of defense. But being overweight, you're gonna more than likely have higher blood pressure, right? So when your blood pressure is high, what it's doing is it's creating cracks in the walls of your arteries, and that allows for more depositing of LDL particles. So the lower you get your blood pressure down, the better. And you can easily do that with losing weight. But also when you're overweight, you have an overabundance of fat in your liver. That's also driving up your LDL cholesterol. Um, of course, not being pre-diabetic, insulin resistance, because that also um, is a risk factor. Because sugar damages the endothelium of your arteries. Another risk factor is, of course, smoking. That's a huge one. Smoking. Even if it's that Getty Green. How do you know if you have insulin resistance? 9 times out of 10, if you're fat, you have insulin resistance. People on TikTok, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're like, oh the reason why you can't lose weight is because you're insulin resistant. No, the reason why you can't lose weight is because you eat too much. It's not because of insulin resistance. You eat you're eating too much. Period. Point blank. Period. You're just consuming too many calories. And soon as you cut back on calories and you start dropping body fat, you are going to reduce the amount of insulin that you have that your pancreas is producing. Oh yeah, I've been seeing that now too. Ghost. They're now trying to blame it on cortisol. It's like, no, bitch, you just eat too much. You're not fat because you have high cortisol. You're fat because you go to Popeyes every other day. You go to Chick-fil-A every other day. You go to Starbucks every other day. You go to Mac. You're fat because you just eat too fucking much. Point blank simple. I'm so tired of people blaming all of these things on the reason why they're fat. And I can't stand when fat people do this because it's like, no, bitch, I'm fat too. And I know why I'm fat. I'm fat because I was overeating, eating too many fucking calories. It's just that simple. But your ass don't want to take accountability because you want to be a victim. You want to make it seem like, well, you did everything right. But no, you didn't, sweetheart. No, you didn't, sir. You are fat because you eat too fucking much. It's just that simple. Well, I don't eat that much. I only eat once a day. And guess what? In that one meal, you're eating like 3,000 calories. No. Yes, you are, bitch. A double quarter pounder with cheese, a large fry, a Coke, 2 apple pies. That's easily 2,500 calories. And your ass only needed 1,700 calories for the day. That's how you gain weight, sweetie. Well, I only ate a few of the fries, bitch. No, you didn't. You ate the whole thing, and you ate the fries at the bottom of the bag, and you put ketchup on top of it. And then you had Starbucks early that morning. You had a whole Moco Choco Loco Frappuccino with extra cream, extra pumps. Somebody was like, take your own advice. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Get the fuck out of my chat. And see, that's the thing. That's another thing that fat people do. Take your own advice. Take your own advice. You must be a fat bitch. Because that's another thing. It's only fat bitches that get triggered every time somebody else want to call them out. You probably are fat because only a fat person would get offended by that. It's only if another fat person like take your own advice. Why are you triggered then? Why did you have to say that? You literally typed that out knowing that your ass, I have to be fat to care about fat. Oh, shut the fuck up, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Mel. With your damn fat phobia. Fat phobia. Shut your weak bitch ass up. With your 0 followers and 7 people following you. I can't stand that shit. Shit, oh, God. And there's always a bitch hiding behind some damn, what do you call it? Damn, some damn random ass profile or some shit. Or some, anime weak ass hoe. Fat phobia! Everybody fat phobia! I'm not fat! Well, bitch, why are you triggered then? I was talking some shit last night. I really was. I really was. And that's another thing about people on TikTok. These young kids, they so young. Gen Z is weak. All they do is complain. Oh, I'm offended. I'm offended. You're making for fat phobia. It's racism. It's misogyny. It's misogyny. Who gives a fuck? Don't nobody care about your life. You ain't special, ho. That's another thing about fat people. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. I have a metabolic condition. Everybody. Shut your fat ass up. Always whining. Talking about fat phobia. Bitch, if you're fat, you're just fat. You could easily lose weight if you want to. You just don't want to do it. I always got a motherfucking excuse. That's the shit that be blowing my mind too. This generation, they got the most excuses than anybody else I ain't never seen before in my whole entire life. They just making all types of excuses and shit, and then they get mad when other people. And yeah, do people say rude shit, nasty shit? Yeah, they do, right? But that's life. You want to live in a world where everybody's just nice to me. You know, I'm setting my boundaries. I'm setting my boundaries. Oh, weak asshole. I'm setting my boundaries. I'm going no contact with my mom. Shut your weak ass up. Weak asshole. I'm setting up no contact. My mother is toxic. You don't know all that shit roll off your damn shoulders, old weak asshole? My mom, my mom, my mom. Shit is so ridiculous. Oh yeah, they love that word too, narcissism. He's a narcissist. A motherfucker, a motherfucker is super confident and aggressive with the things they want out of life. He think he's a narcissist. She's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. But let me tell you, but they attracted to them. That's the thing that be blowing my mind, because then they don't want the beta cuck male. They don't want the weak ass man. They don't want. Oh, I just I just prefer men to be a little bit more aggressive and go getting with the things they want in life. And see, the problem is a lot of people, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. He's a he's a sociopath. They just be throwing around all these buzzwords and shit. Don't even know what the fuck they mean. He's a narcissist. But be attracted to them. Weak ass hoe. And then the thing that be blowing my mind is, wait, I just walked in this conversation right after scrolling through a dating app for the last hour. Um, what happened though? You had some problems dating. Dating apps, to me, that's some weak. You gotta get off the dating apps. Fuck that shit. You gotta go meet people in person. I don't know why y'all be relying on them dating apps. It's not that hard to talk to people, to be honest with you. And if you really want to go meet people, you gotta go to the gym. I don't know why people be so. I've been telling my brother this. I'm like, this nigga's single. I'm like, man, go to the gym. It's so much pussy in the gym. Yes, my sister seeked help from an abusive ex. My other neighbor beat the boyfriend, got locked up. Yep, see? Yep. I don't take people seriously when they say they do dating apps, especially men. Yeah, I'm telling you. The best place, if you really want to go meet people, go to the gym. It's the best social setting outside of your job. And you just got to go to different gyms. But see, this is another reason why sometimes you got to go to a different city. You got to be in a whole different city. 9 times out of 10, the reason why people have a hard time dating is because you just live in a horrible city. The manosphere actually advises not to approach a girl in the gym, though. I mean, you can approach them anywhere, but why not? Man, fuck that shit. Listen, at the end of the day, you ain't you know, a lot of these manosphere men, they so full of shit, because here's the thing. Most of those dudes are just mad because a lot of times the type of women they're attracted to, right? They know they can't get them for a number of reasons, because they either don't have the look, or they know their dicks are too little to satisfy the type of woman who gives off a certain type of sexual energy. That's what that shit boils down to. And it is what it is. If you know you ain't out here packing a motherfucking elephant tusk between your legs, hey, go find you a damn basic Becky with a little flat ass, some perky little titties. Hopefully she ain't overweight. She got a nice job, and you better go make the best of that. And I'm not saying you gotta have a dick all the way down to your knees, but what I'm saying is, a lot of these dudes out here, they're just intimidated by the fact that they feel like they can't compete, or they can't give what a lot of these women want. But the reality is, a lot of these dudes, they're just full of shit. Really, what they want is, they want they want they want these hood rat Tatianas, right? That they know, truth be told, got the best pussy, right? Because a hood rat bitch, she got some grade A pussy. That's why they stay pregnant. And it's not. It's just the. It's just. It is what it is, right? And that is typically, what a lot of these guys are really attracted to, right? The thoughts, the hood rat thoughts and shit. But these dudes, they want these women to act like princesses and shit and be all respectable and not wear certain things and not like, what the fuck did you think you was signing up for when you started talking to her? You met this bitch in a nightclub and she was wearing a dress where her ass was damn near falling out and you could see her titties and you know you was attracted to that. But now you trying to turn her into a motherfucking uh 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 you trying to take her from being a damn thought wearing this skimpy ass shit to now you want her to look like motherfucking Lynn Whitfield playing the damn first lady in Greenleaf. Like, give me a fucking break. Most men won't even admit to this, but most men want whores. But they suddenly want women to turn off that whoredom once they get with them. But then no, they don't. It's like they're conflicted. Like, do you want her to be out there doing her? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, right? If I went back in time and I started dating a girl that was I met her in the club and she had on a banging ass wig, makeup, lashes, ass hanging out, titties hanging out, all that to the nine, right? And that's just how she's been doing her for years. I want her to continue to act and dress like that. I don't want her to change up. I don't want her to go. I ain't trying to control her doing it because you know the one. You know another thing is I realized about that. So long as you take care of those women, they ain't gonna do shit. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't gonna fuck around. They're not gonna cheat on you. And see, men be worried about the wrong shit because women are not built like that. Most women. That's why I never ever understood the whole body conversation because it's like, why are you asking a woman that? Because 9 times out of 10, most women have not been with men like that. But they're judging them because the women who have had more than a number of partners, it's because they just were dating around like you were, sir. So you want to penalize this woman for having had sexual relationships with at least 10 or 15 men when you didn't have sexual relationships with at least 50, 60, 70 women. Because ain't no woman out here that had sex with 40 or 50 men by the time she was like 25 or 26. She has not. She hasn't. She hasn't. Women are not built like that. They're not. But the reality is, most men, a lot of these younger, I should say most of these younger men, unless she was working on the track by Figaro or something like that. Oh yeah, you must live in L.A. You live in L.A., right? Unless she was out there on a stroll, none of these, none of the, none of these women are out there like that. Most women want to find the right man that is Prince Charming and get knocked up and be taken care of, point blank. It's just that simple. But these men, they got all these qualities. I'm like, nigga, just go be gay. Or just go find you a man. Or just go pay for it. Just go pay for it. Just go pay for the punanan. Because you asking too much now. You doing too much. You asking for too much. You went out here. You deliberately want this sexually attractive woman who was drop dead gorgeous, wearing some sexy outfits, attire, attracting all of this attention, and all of a sudden, you don't want her to. You want her to be selective in terms of how she displays this energy. It makes no sense. None. It's so crazy. I don't get that. Uh, uh. Where are you from, Bay? Where are you from, Bay Violet? And how old are you? Yeah, yeah. Women do not operate like men. I don't get that. And then you got the occasional highly sexually active women out there who, for whatever reason, they just like to have sex, right? They just love to fuck. Because there's women out there like that. There are women out there like that. There's not a lot of them, but there's plenty of women out there that they just like to fuck. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a woman. She just likes to fuck. But she gets called all types of crazy names and stuff like. I would rather be with a woman like that than to be with an old basic Betty. I hear TikTok going again, flagging my live. So, guys, in any minute now, I'm going to have to get off here. But anyways, let me get off now, actually, because it is getting late. Millz, I just be on here running my mouth. I know a lot of people probably like, I didn't know Quan was like this. This nigga is weird. I'm just a straight shooter, though. I just tell it how it is. I'll probably go live tomorrow. Anyways, I'm hollering at you.